Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today at Ferry Street Park to kick off our new bike share program. I want to first mention that Ferry Street is not Berry Street in Woodbridge, where I drove with Carol in the car, who said, "Why are you going this way to Ferry Street?" And I said, "I thought you said Berry Street." And literally the whole day I'm thinking, why do we put bikes on Berry Street? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And that was very poignant because it makes no sense. We're at Ferry Street. So right over there is Moby Dick's. Right behind us is the boat launch. There's a beautiful new parking lot here that was constructed by our Public Works Department. New basketball court. We have a brand new stage here. And it's just an area that's bustling. So it's the perfect spot for these bike shares. So this is a program. The bikes are free to rent from dawn till dusk as long as you have a valid credit or debit card. And it's the Movatic app. It can be downloaded to any smartphone. Bikes need to be returned within 12 hours. It's funded by a grant from Sustainable Jersey. And as most people know, we are the most sustainable town in the state of New Jersey for the last several years in a row. And also a great big thank you to Monte Calvo, the Monte Calvo family, which runs Bayshore Recycling and Monte Calvo Construction. They're a fantastic benefactor for the township of Woodbridge. We have 3 spots. Tansman Park right across from the train station. We have here. And we have the entrance to the Greenway at East William Street Park in Fords, which is soon to be renamed Girl Scout Park, but that's a whole nother press conference. So as of today, there have been 96 total rentals, accumulating 7,575 rental minutes in just one weekend. So that's a fantastic start. We just started announcing this, and it's already a hit. And I would venture to say we'll have these in many, many other places. The first 3 were basically funded outside of the town. We have no problem funding more through the regular budget. I think it's a very appropriate use of taxpayer dollars. I certainly hope my colleagues on the town council agree, and we can see these all over the township. Let me turn this over now to the woman who had the idea to get this done. She's the chief of staff. She runs the redevelopment agency, but she's also responsible for, along with Tom Flynn, for making sure we keep winning this sustainable award. And this was her baby for the longest time. Let me ask Carol Orlick to say a few words.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad we have it on film that the mayor is now committed to many, many more of these, because we've worked hard to get to this point. Tom Flynn and the Green Infrastructure team we interviewed a lot of other companies, and some of them, they wanted to put up signs that are like billboards, and the mayor is like, we have enough sign pollution, don't use those. And we finally got to the point where we said, let's just do it ourselves. And we found a company that would supply us with the bikes, supply us with the apps. They came, they put the bikes together, they installed the racks, and it's beautiful. I've heard it said, and I'm quoting, where'd you go? Yeah. You said you just bought a real expensive bike, and he got on this bike and said it was better than that bike. So rent it, go for a ride, and have a really, really good time. And before I stop talking, I have to really say a big thank you to Bayshore Recycling. They have been the one and only sponsor of Greenable Woodbridge since our inception. And I welcome anybody else who likes the kind of work we do, bike shares, anything to do with sustainability. If you want to be a part of this, then let us know, and we'll be very happy to let you be sponsors too. Thank you.
All right, speaking of Bayshore, Gary Sonnemeyer, former chief of staff to the DEP commissioner. When Carol and I were in Trenton, he had Carol's job over in the DEP. We got to know him very well then. We were thrilled when he came to work for Bayshore Recycling. Gary, you want to come up and say a few words?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mayor. On behalf of Valerie and Frank Montecalvo and the Bayshore family of companies, we're absolutely thrilled to be part of the bike share program. As the mayor mentioned, Woodbridge Township is the most sustainable town of the 565 in the state of New Jersey for at least a decade running now. Absolutely amazing. And with the mayor and Carol and this team's vision, they never stop. They're constantly pushing the envelope, taking the next step in sustainable living, and the bike share program really complements Complete Streets, and it's absolutely outstanding. As Bayshore resides in the best town around, we're absolutely honored to be part of in any way advancing the mayor's vision and agenda. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. That hurts. Ow. So one thing we didn't mention yet, we have these bike lanes being done throughout town. We're starting actually in Hope Lawn, and as Carol and I were driving here, we thought the next place we put another bike stand should be in Hope Lawn. And Mike Galen, our town engineer, has been working on that project for a long, long time. We've gone through different versions of maps and where the routes start and where they finish, and it's been a very detailed process and difficult process, but we're getting toward the end. Mike, you want to say a few words about that?
Thank you, Mayor. We are pretty excited about the bike lanes. As the Mayor mentioned, this is Carol's the babies. We started about 4 years ago, and at some point we thought the bike lane was going to die, and all of a sudden it revived. Mayor, a great shout out to you and the rest of the administration. They always say great town and great cities should have bike lanes. Here we are. We are making Woodbridge another great town again, the first great town in New Jersey as well. Hope Lawn is excited to have bike lanes. We have all bike lanes around connecting Hope Lawn, Fords. We are connecting as well Woodbridge to Hope Lawn. So this is a first of many more to come. And thank you, Mayor, for allowing the bike lanes to happen in Woodbridge.
Thank you, sir. We have three of our council people here. Our current council president, Brian Small, councilman at large. Last year's council president, Lisbeth DeJesus, councilwoman at large, and councilman at large, Greg Ficarra, who is the liaison between the township and the mayor's wellness committee. If you're lucky, he will forget to have us all do jumping jacks before this press conference ends. But I'd like to now introduce the conscience of wellness and health in Woodbridge Township, our councilman, Greg Ficarra, who's also probably in the best shape of all of us. Except for Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Carolyn for being the quarterback of the Sustainable New Jersey team and meshing in the mayor's wellness campaign most recently. It's just wonderful to be out here. The three spots are so strategic. Here along our beautiful waterfront, you have direct entrance to Alvin P. Williams Park. If you go over to the Greenway on North Williams, on the park over there, it's wonderful access to the Greenway, 3.5 miles one way, 7 going both ways. And then downtown by Tansman Park, it affects the commerce of our downtown area, so it's wonderful. And while I'm here on the microphone, the New Jersey State Assembly has already passed the safe passing law, which is for bicycling and pedestrians walking. The Senate will vote on it tomorrow. State Senate President Sweeney was in town today, and we talked to him, so we believe it's going to be favorable. So it's perfect timing all the way around. And from the Mayor's Wellness Campaign, Julie DeSimone is here. She's the executive director, and we're very happy that she comes out and joins us. And she shared the last time she was out pre-COVID was when we were at the Greenway. So it takes us to get Julie back outside. So, Mayor, can I introduce Julie?
Yes, you just did, Greg.
Julie, go ahead.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Like Councilman mentioned, I'm Julie DeSimone. I'm the program officer of the Mayor's Wellness Campaign at the New Jersey Healthcare Quality Institute. If you're not familiar, it's a statewide community health initiative, and we work with over 400 communities throughout the state. And so I'm really excited to be back here again today to be presenting Woodbridge Township with our Healthy Town designation. I was here last year to present our Healthy Town to Watch, and so really excited when we see towns kind of climb that ladder into our gold designation. Obviously, this past year was a real challenge health-wise, and so every year this application is really competitive, and we really try to highlight the great work that's going on in our communities. But specifically this year, I think it's a real testament to the commitment to health and wellness as communities were able to achieve these designations. In addition to keeping a lot of your regular scheduled program despite the pandemic, programs were introduced to address some of the changing needs, including mental health, so doing some mindfulness and yoga opportunities virtually, and then also addressing food insecurity, which I know was something new for the Mayor's Wellness Campaign here in this community. So again, I just want to present Mayor McCormick, Councilman Ficarra with this Healthy Town Award, and thank you for all of your work.
All right, let me finish up here. Thank you. All right, I'm glad Greg mentioned Megan and Kelly. If you guys want to come forward for a minute, come on. That's a direct order. They are, Megan started working for us many years ago as an intern, a couple of years, and then she was so good she became full-time. Kelly Mitch followed that exact program. She became an intern for a year or two, and then she's working for us full-time. They're both fantastic in what they do, and Greg, I'm glad he brought them up because they're behind the scenes completely, but they do all the paperwork. You wouldn't imagine the amount of work that has to be done to get these grants, to get these programs up and running, so thank you to Megan Kushba and to Kelly Mitch. I want to thank George Brew, a director of Public Works. You know, when you do something like this, if you're a small town, you probably have to go out and get bids for somebody to do the work like we just did here with the concrete pads and the sidewalk. We just call George, tell him what we need, and George gets it done. So thank you, George Brew. We also have, from our community affairs, 2 police officers. We have Sergeant Zeno, and we have, I'm not looking at you, Kerry Manzini over here, officer. They are our community affairs unit. They do a terrific job. We're joined by Marta Levsky, who's the director of planning. We're joined by Brian Molnar, the head of recreation, and several people referred to Tom Flynn. He's the guy back there that's an engineer under Mike. He's actually the floodplain manager under Mike, but he gets involved in so many other things because he's a great talent. So this is why we're the best town around, folks. The people behind here are the best at what they do in the state of New Jersey, and this is just a wonderful program. And like I said, I will admit now on camera, we will do many more of these throughout the town. This is a good thing for Woodbridge Township. Thank you all for watching.